I've accidentally done the majority of the roster at this point. There's still that one stage, and to be honest, I'm just really liking these ones. And also, in this case, the test run went really rather well. We've actually got a choice between two fighters here, because so in 4, I think Eddie Gordo was injured and Christie was sort of his replacement vis-a-vis the roster. He's basically a bonus costume in this, but we're going to be Christie, because this is more or less Christie's story. That, like, literally the stories are exactly the same, they just sort of, like, changed a few of the words to apply it to Eddie. Like, even they have the same end cutscene, and even that's focused more on Christie in both cases. But, yeah. So, we are here now. This is... I'm applying the Rouge Mandate. This is Lesbian Appreciation Hours. Now remember, the purpose of this rule is to trick you into objecting to it, so that I know to kill you. So with that in mind, let's proceed to get technology from the medicine.
A week later,
that plane, I jumped out of that with my powerful legs and I landed okay as well. Again, thanks to my powerful legs. This is rather fortunate that I landed on them, to be honest. I forgot for a second that I wasn't a cat. Damn furry conventions, they've grown to confuse me so much. I got to yes, now I have mostly been doing default costumes throughout this, but just to demonstrate that she is definitely a lesbian. She does have a sword, so that's irrefutable now. Even as we sever the police, I sort of got a perfect, well, only half looking at the screen, which, to be honest, I could do with, because I've said this many times before, but this has been too many 50-minute recordings. Yes. Well, now you don't have to kick. To be honest, I didn't think that was. Maybe your grabs are different. Because I know for a fact that's not Eddie's grab. Assigned to that combination of wiggly wiggly go, absolute spindle. So I guess they did differ just enough in that regard.
Allow you to interfere. Round 1.
So there we are. There we are. There's music in the rice. Who's playing a violin in my dinner? You can't just say violiner, and that's because I don't know. That's a portmanteau, do I? Is that what portmanteau means? Combination of two words.
You win. Round 2.
I don't know. I've forgotten the definition of portmanteau just long enough to to miss my funny mark. You're making me. Well, you're in the air now, and there's no point. Oh god, there was a point just then. I absolute went. Raven, me old chum, I'm afraid to say.
Good night.
That's okay. Now,
get ready for the next battle.
Like that's all cynical and all.
Round 1.
Like we all know.
Fight.
Picturing it with the scimitar is there's something just very funny about the sheer angle you have to assume is involved. They should. I wish it had come in from the other side so I could just see the fucking 90-degree blade. We don't need to see that in slow motion again. Fight's mostly going to be that, unfortunately. If it works, if it works. So there we are now, knowing even about that sweep. Knowing even about that one sweep. Yeah, you see now with the spinning that the advantage of this is, you know, with the rotation of the hips, I did just sever his thighs. Which, to be honest, is like a really low concentration of like anything important whatsoever. So it's not like it would.
Competition certainly has gotten easier on the eyes.
I doubt you'll think of me that way after I'm through with you.
You underestimate just how bad men are.
Round 1.
I'm sorry to say. I do like your trousers, however. They look like they might be jeans, but I won't hold that against you. It's what you do with the trousers you're dealt, and you have decided to punch me when you specifically said this was going to be a contest of kicks. Well, you know what? You did kick me. Fair enough. Fair enough. You saw the issue I had, you took it on board. Spinny! It's gonna do spin. Woo! Spinny! Alright, well, I'll just do the same thing again then. Oh, no, I won't. He says no, actually. No, actually, you're gonna have to do other things.
You lose.
In my baseball diamond.
Continue.
We've suddenly got an actual fighter, an actual contender.
Round 1. Fight.
Bruce... I forgot his last name and I automatically wanted to say Forsyth. And just... There's no universe where that would... Conceptually, I'd like to see it. But I don't know how I'd feel about it once I did. Leggy, no, come on, Leggy. We've got to see Leggy go. Leggies went. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of the Leggies wents. The Leggies can only go so far before they get to where they're going, right? Because there's a finite distance between there and here.
You lose.
Unless you're walking along a Mobius strip, in which case you should probably pack that in. Like, it's... What's it accomplishing? What... You've gotten serious about focaccia, I'm afraid to say. See a doctor immediately. There's this I can make, but like that's not really... This is leg move fight central relief. Hasn't it? Hasn't it been this whole time, really? Oh. You might kickbox.
You win. Round 2.
I can't stop you from kickbox. I can stop really very few people from kickboxing. I have tried going up to kickboxers and going, "Stop it! Stop it!" But they mostly just throw me out. I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. There's only so many kickboxers can throw you out of a gym before you have to wonder if maybe you're the issue. You know, I know from the outside the common denominator may seem obvious, but I can't deny myself by not trying, can I? It'd be... I wasn't done falling over.
You have no rhythm. You'll never be able to beat me.
Again. I did waggle my finger at you though, so you know now that for a fact that I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. So that should intimidate you, alright? Because of Eggman, right? Did a robots about me this whole time and hasn't won. You can do kickboxing well, but kickboxing's not an army of robots. Is it, really? Kickbox an army of robots in front of me now, do it. Prove you're superior. Well, we already know it doesn't make a difference, don't we? And now we've moved on to very fast fists for the boxing man. Steve's one I've thought about doing, but I might... I might bother, I might not. It's getting a bit ridiculous, the number of them I've actually ended up doing at the end of all of this. And like, at the end of the day... It's not like I need it.
You lose.
Like, I feel like he's come up a lot. He's done most of the things that, to be honest, I would know how to do with him. Is mostly his little dodge moves that I know.
Round 1. Fight.
But I feel like, to be honest, the AI is performing better with him than I ever could. In terms of both like actual win ratio and move variety, in all honesty, it would feel redundant. It's haha. You see, the one time where elbows did come in. Spaceship. The spaceship fist.
You win. Round 2.
Unbeknownst to you, we, the insect fathers, have got a big gun. No. No. I sought to trick you with a funny hat on. The funny hat was not part of the trick, but I was gonna wear it while tricking you. I mostly just wanted to prove that it wouldn't hinder my efforts to trick you in any way.
Final round. Fight.
There's been some discourse at the trickery committee. Oh. You know, I'm honestly, them being who they are, I'm wondering if maybe the discourse wasn't sort of faked. You always got to be on your toes. Like, I guess it does fall within the remit of, you know, what the committee does. But my god, if it doesn't waste a lot of time doing it amongst ourselves, you know?
You win.
I wonder sometimes if maybe the purpose for which we are fighting is our greatest weakness. In fact, that statement just didn't want to come out of my mouth. I know it's difficult to believe.
Round 1.
It's difficult to believe, Brian Fury, with your snake trousers. I can't say words. I can't even say the word fury anymore. How? What if I want to express that something's angry, but angry doesn't really do it justice? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do now, Brian? You've made it so I can't speak! I've cut the deck. It's a 5 of spades. I'm afraid to say. I know you were hoping for a diamonds card. Well, tough shit. Ow! You've really gone... What was even the point of that? Oh, look how fast my arm can move. Ha ha. I feel like that used to be quicker. This... I at least used to see the second half of that more often than I am doing right now. What happened? Where did Christopher Robin get all of these soldiers? Who's established the Christopher Robin militia? You're not meant to do that before breakfast, it ruins the flavour of the toast and the grain. Grain on toast for Christopher Robin. Well, not anymore.
You win.
You've mobilised an army.
Fight.
Getting in the way. Oh, you'll never be able to even touch Sugar Puffs now. They're riddled with bullets. I did a big flip in front of everyone. You believe? Oh, come on. Something that Mario said has got to resonate with you. I feel like you're not giving him a chance. There we go, is the redemption arc for the front flippy flip round kicks. Doop. Here's where we sealed the Babadook forever. There we go, we see the sword! Oh, it's going off in an absolute way! Eddie Gordeau!
Christie, it's too dangerous. I want you to go home.
No. How do you expect me not to do anything after
Fuck
I've
me,
seen
that
what
was
happened to my
blistering.
grandpa?
don't have a choice.
He fucking speed ran that.
Round 1.
Look, I know it's sexist, alright? And as such, I don't want to spend any longer saying it than I absolutely have to. I will now kick you until you are safe. Woohoo! Yes! Woohoo! Oh. The eternal kicks don't go round all the way. Oh, we're bending over all the ways. Aha, I found out how to do that now. I bet you're afraid now. Why did I start doing that while he was crouching? What did I hope to gain? Hopefully, whoop! I went full down. If I hold, is it more a case of yes? Okay, I've realised what I'm doing wrong now, which is to say, I chose to fall over, which isn't what you want when the corridor of egg goes to crispy breakfasts. See me! Well, he's seen me now.
What do you want?
To do big kicks. To do big kicks for more or less the same medical equipment that you came here to find. Just punch people until a bloody... Fuck, what? The CAT scan thing. Is it just called a CAT scan? CAT scanner feels wrong, like the piece of equipment that's for it. I was going to say UV bed, but that's something completely different. Didn't know we could tan men in a medical context, did you? I'll tan your grandfather! Well, he's my grandfather. He may have taught you capoeira, alright? But that's not the only thing that a grandfather is, okay? You'll notice that a grandfather clock kicks very few people. I did a tumble in many ways. Ooh, you gave up on them.
Wait for me, Eddie.
Let me take your nose.
I promise I'll come back.
Get ready for the next battle.
Devil Jin. Take you to the shops
Round 1.
and forget your name in the rain. You don't need a leg. You don't need a fact. Okay? It's not going to help you to get trivia right now. I know you think it will, but that's just because Trivia James has been selling his wares at you. He's been giving you the hard sell.
Round 2.
And you believe him. Now, I don't blame you. He's a charismatic man. Alright? That's why they put him in charge of sales. But do bear in mind, he's got an agenda when he's telling you what will be the solution to your problems. He doesn't want to hear it. He will not hear a bad word said about... Who was it again? It's entirely possible that I should perhaps have slept instead of doing this. Sometimes I kept doing that for way longer than I intended to, but to be honest, it got me the result I wanted. Unlike Achilles, my heel is the only thing that's right. And I will bite you. Oh yes. You know for a fact I can. That's what the biting tournament was there to prove. King of Iron Jaws. You all thought that shark was a shoo-in. Well, it's not a shoe at all, it's a shark. That's the only reason it got as far through the tournament as it did. People kept putting their feet in its mouth thinking, oh, lovely shoes. No. No, it's a large carnivorous fish, you fucking idiots. How do you make that mistake? How do so many of you make that mistake? Was it something the shark was doing? I didn't get it. I didn't get... Is it... Am I the weird one for being immune? Is it some sort of Am I considered some sort of medical marvel in the shark world for failing to be hypnotized? Which is a strange way of putting it. It makes it sound like I A, did it deliberately, and B, was, like, wrong to do so. As though I should be hypnotized. As though I should want to be.
You lose.
Some fish hypnotists have a very high opinion of themselves.
Get ready for the next battle.
And it shows in their work.
Round 1.
It cannot be escaped. Much like the Bulletin Express. The only train that is news. Oh yes. You thought you'd seen the last of it, but it turns out you've seen the fast of it, because it's too quick to get away from. And I'm also on it, waving a knife around. This time I'll get ya. I've gone aboard the Bulletin Express,
You win.
knowing you couldn't get away from it, and I will have my pound of flesh. Oh yes. Oh yes. You can't get away from retribution when it's on a train. It's the moral of about 8 crime novels at this point. Really, you've no excuse not learning it by now. I feel like I was frozen for longer than usual. Particularly because it wasn't even from the "you're paralysed now" move, seemingly. How dare you do... You... All of your heads were lower down. I don't believe this. You're a Hydra. It feels statistically impossible that it would be true of all the heads. I've manipulated a gun to present you with a choice. Okay? Now, 6. Okay, 3. 19. Pay attention, these are all your options, okay? 28. Or blue. Oh yes, there's the curveball there. What could I possibly be choosing? You'll never know. You'll never though, and therefore me giving you the choice was meaningless. An illusion of democracy. You don't know what it all means, and I've seen to that purposefully. Oh yes. It's satire. Oh, your neck's faster than light. But that should be illegal. Oh. We couldn't illegalize it in time, I'm sorry.
You lose.
I know you were all looking forward to it. You can't take nectar. Not from here. Not from there. Can't take nectar from anywhere. Hee 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 hoo. That's the law of the game. Don't disobey the nectar-based rules. That especially will be a disqualification from all future tournaments. And then let's see you. Let's see you shuffle down the shopping aisle with nothing but a penny in your thoughts.
You lose.
You should have more in your
Continue.
thoughts when you're shuffling.
8.
I like how chill she is about losing. It's like, oh well, there's just a big purple man. He didn't have that many teeth. It's no big deal. You will behold the horrors of anvils. The most horrifying big metal things used for smithery. The spookiest ones, alright, they're all covered in ghosts. Plastic spiders. Some would argue they're one and the same. I don't know where they're getting that from, to be honest. Like, explain your basis for that assertion. I don't know why they're doing it. I just know that it happens. Because, you see, I caught it on camera one time. There was a lady from Hemel Hempstead claiming that ghosts were plastic spiders. Or at the very least, claiming that a particular plastic spider was haunted. I must admit, I didn't get the full context. Oh, and the footage was blurry. Might have been a plastic scorpion. So when I played the game back in the day, because I think I've mentioned I got stuck on Jinpachi a lot, and I could have sworn back then, because he always opens with that same like laughing animation. I could have sworn I was sidestepping, but I guess I'm wrong. He always opens with that same animation, but I could have sworn there was a second one that he did that only ever seemed to show up after I was skipping them immediately, because they're all the same anyway. And I don't know if it was just me going insane with the repetition of it all, but I could swear there's like a 1% chance of him doing an entry where he doesn't laugh. I can't prove this to you, and it probably won't happen because it probably doesn't exist. But alright, you have to trust me when it's lunchtime, because you ordered the belief sandwich. That's galling as hell. If you didn't want to believe me, there were other sandwiches. Okay? You've got no one's arms but your own. You've got nothing to hide under a phone. If I'd just not stood up,
Continue.
I could have become a moth and flown away and found a gun and come back. Take the benefit of cardboard. Again, you stopped. Oh, you don't keep going because it would look weird with the sort of stance that you're in. You've sacrificed the penance stare ability to get close to the gardener. The gardener fears the Ghost Rider. So as not to remind the gardener of the Ghost Rider, you elected to hide the fact that you could do the penance stare.
You lose. Continue.
Clever. Now you'll find out the secret of the shrubs.
Get ready for the next battle.
If indeed you can solve the riddle. I want to fall asleep. No, don't punch me. It's difficult to fall asleep when somebody's punching you. Trust me, I learned that the hard way in the mattress factory / boxing ring.
You win.
Why were they combined? I don't know. Some dispute over who owned the deed to the premises, I've heard. There was a weird solution that came to. I feel like it hurt the mattress factory more than it did the boxing ring. I feel like boxing's inherently more intrusive than, to be honest, most things. There's a lot boxing can intrude upon, but when you're a mattress, you're just sort of there. You're just sort of there and rectangular. There and oblong would have been funnier to say. But we have to live with the choices we make. Operating, look. There's Edward Goddard. Will it be successful? Probably. It'd be kind of fucked up if we did all that and it wasn't. Save me, grandfather. I'm not certain what the grandfather was in jail for. Because that was a detail from the beginning. Stop catching my leg out of nowhere. Right, I'm gonna kick at you now. No, you won't hit me though, because I'm very good. I'm particularly skilled at this sort of thing. And that's why they arrested him. Maybe it was part of his backstory in 4, because they were like, oh, they did leg crime or something, or was framed for leg crimes. They were like, he has legs, he's famous for it even. Put him in the jail. It's probably like really serious and emotional, but at the same time it's like really serious and emotional in terms of fighting game writing. So, you know, there's a certain amount of like, yeah, look at us, I've got paint with our painting on mouths. Wrong. I'm just sort of looking around at the desk as if that's going to yield anything. None of you can even see it. There's 2 little plastic Digimon on here. A thing of plastic glue for miniatures. I've got a goblin on here, half painted, that I think has been there in that exact state since the start of this year. Not even started the squig yet. Goodbye.